All right, let's see what we got here. I guess we're clocked in. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure having you guys here. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, what I do as a spiritual healer pretty much is that I help you to become Christ like, Krishna like, Buddha like. And just so you guys know what that means pretty much, it's helping you to attain your highest level of consciousness, which means your highest level of you understanding who you are. You know, that's the highest level of truly embracing and understanding you. That's truly what that is. You know, when you become Christ-like, you become Buddha-like. The word Buddha, just so you guys know, simply means to wake up. It's like now you up. So meaning you are aware of what's taking place. Now, for you to attain that highest level of consciousness, the way that I go about it is to help you to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And the reason behind it is because, let's just say we all have witnessed, people who are, let's just say, too emotional. Another way of saying someone who's too emotional would be someone who's not emotionally balanced, right? And what that means pretty much, well, you already know what that means, but what happens when someone is being too emotional is that you may have witnessed that is that they don't fully grasp everything that's in front of them. And there you are, you could be saying, how about this, how about that? No, fuck that, whatever the fuck the situation is, right? So that goes to show you, and again, I will be talking about this shortly, but I guess, since we got here, this is also revealing you how you operate. It's revealing your state of mind. It's not state of mind, I'm sorry. It's revealing your state of being in terms of, maybe being is not too much of the word, but it's revealing pretty much how you operate. So therefore, your vision, how you see things, your emotions can block you. Definitely has the power for you not to see things as you should. And because of that, so therefore, once, and I'm going to be talking about spirituality shortly. And because of that, then spirituality simply is revealing you a deeper understanding of who you are. Because now, by me just talking about being emotionally unbalanced or too emotional, you not having the ability to see everything that's in front of you. So therefore, you become one-sided. So now, most people would look at that, and then they would be like, oh, okay, I don't want to be stupid. I want to be taken advantage of, whatever the fuck the situation is. So they have decided now to become more logical, or they're saying I should refrain or not necessarily refuting I guess, I should refute my emotions, which means not being in touch, not being too emotions, not getting in touch with my emotions, but this time for me to be mostly logical. So then when you do that now at this point, then you become very robotic. You become, if you've seen the movie Judge Dredd, you become one-sided. You only see things from a logical perspective. And when you do see things from that perspective, you can't relate to other people. You don't have compassion. In other words, you don't see the full picture. So the same exact thing that happens when you become too emotional or emotionally unbalanced, it's pretty much the same thing that happens when you become too logical. Do you get the point of what I'm trying to say? So therefore, that's why for you to attain your highest level of consciousness now, I help you now to become mentally and emotionally balanced. Because the minute you become emotionally balanced, let's just say if you were too emotional, it's not to refute your emotions or to refrain your emotions. It's to become emotionally balanced. It's to balance your emotions, meaning, okay, I understand the way I feel. I understand what's taking place here. Okay. And then, and more. You know, I mean, I hope you kind of, you know, get the picture of what I'm trying to, I mean, not trying, I'm painting the picture. I mean, I hope you get to see it. So that's why for me, the whole idea of mind, body, and soul, another way of me saying that, okay, you know, because, you know, obviously, whichever side you choose to be on, you're going to be one-sided. A little cutie looking at me, you know what I'm saying? How can I blame her? You ain't doing nothing wrong, baby, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you ain't doing nothing wrong at all. You know what I'm saying? You got taste, girl. God bless you. But anyway, going back to the very conversation that we were talking about here, in terms of, you know, me being a spiritual healer and me helping you to become Christ-like and what it requires, you know, for you to attain your highest level of consciousness. Meaning you have to be able to see things from a polarity perspective, you know, not from a dualistic perspective. But anyway, I'm going to delve a lot more into that because our conversation today, you know, if you see the title, pretty much what we're going to be talking about today is taking a deeper look at the matrix, because I want you guys to fully understand, you know, what you're looking at. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'll get to talk about this world, why it's called Maya, but whatever the fuck. We'll get there. But anyway, I've been very excited, man, for the past few days. It's just incredible. You know, I try to do this video. In fact, you know, well, I mean, it was cold the past couple of days. We ain't doing none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then at the house now, I was, you know, I've been writing a whole lot. But anyway, that's here and there anyway, but I've been connecting with nature and I'm bringing you the message from here. So now, what was I talking about? So now we talked about, you know, how I help you to attain your highest level of consciousness is by becoming mentally and emotionally balanced. So now let's talk a little bit about what does it mean to be emotionally balanced, right? So if we're going back to that emotional, being too emotional, I mean, it's for you to question your emotions. It's for you to understand your emotional pattern. You know, not just you being triggered, but understanding, why do I feel this way? But for you to do that, it means you would have to get in touch with your emotions. Not refuting your emotions, like, you know, the motherfucker who thinks, you know, I got to become more logic, you know, just so I don't get played. That's what you see, let's just say, in our culture, you know, for the most part, when you see people talk about can love pay my bills? What love got to do with your bills, man? You know what I'm saying? That has to do with anything. I mean, do you breathe? Do you take shower? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, when you take a shower, does that pay your bills? Like, absolutely nothing to do with it. But I understand it. We use it as a defense mechanism, so, and all that. But anyway, making a long story short, going back to become emotionally balanced, what that means is pretty much you being in touch with your emotions. Meaning you understand how you feel, and then you understand those emotional patterns that you may have, you know, sometimes why you may, you know, be acting a certain way. You got to understand that. And then at that point, once you know, become aware and understand your emotions, and then now you have the ability to change it. You have the ability now to be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this way. Well, you know what? Okay, this is what this is. Let me take a deep breath. Let me do whatever the fuck you do. You know, this is you now having that ability to transmute that energy. And transmuting simply means to change it. You know, I mean, shit. I mean, you know. Shit. I mean, I know a lot of big words. Man, I mean, I just couldn't help it. You know what I'm saying? But transmuting, pretty much, I mean, it's a term that we use in the occult, and I will be talking about the occult in just a second. You know, pretty much changing your emotions, you know. But anyway, you know, so now that you understand what it's like to become emotionally balanced, it's pretty much that same baseline understanding. That's what it means now if you're going to apply that for you to become mentally balanced. Because now for you to be mentally balanced, you have to be aware of your emotions. You have to understand how your mind works. You know, because here's the thing. You know, everything you come across or you come in contact with, you have in a relationship with it. Meaning when you go to school, you have a relationship with that school establishment or the institution establishment. And that relationship now is shaping you to think or to see things a certain way. That's why you go to school, man. It's shaping you to see things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
You know, your government.
Okay.
You know, and again, this is no shade. This is for educational purposes. You know what I'm saying? And just so you guys know too, and this has absolutely nothing to do with me, let's just say, trying to cover my ass and shit. No, it really, I mean, that's really what it is. There's no covering my ass. It's really what it is. Let's just say, you know, okay, if you're a Democrat, right? So you were shaped to see things a certain way. Not even there. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone. Your culture shape you to see things a certain way. Everybody's culture is the best. Really? You know what I'm saying? So therefore, every culture is biased. That's what you know. That's what you're used to. Hey, that's what it is. So technically, you being put in a box to think a certain way, to see life a certain way. That's why other people would encourage you to travel. You know, just so you become not necessarily better, but you have a greater understanding of life, but also of yourself as well. Because that's what was going to happen when you travel. Then you realize, oh shit, people are people. Then you understand, oh, they do this that way, we do this that way. And then now you think, oh, okay, that's what culture is. So for you to have that highest level of clarity into you in your mental, you can't be put in a box. Because the minute you're being put in that box, you're going to have that box perspective. That's why if you learn about Buddha, if you learn about Jesus, whatever the fuck, these motherfuckers, they have things about life. Not about a specific culture. I mean, even if you're a Christian, even they tell you Jesus was Jew, whatever the fuck, right? And I'm just saying, I'm dumbing shit down here. Let's dumb it all the way the fuck down, right? He was a Jew, but the things that he was talking about, I mean, can you really say he was a Jew? I mean, yes, I mean, if you're doing the fucking historical part of it. But then again, this is all dumbed down. None of it matters. None of it fucking matters. But okay, let's just dumb it down for a second. You know, man? Let's just dumb it down. So you have to be aware of your culture. You have to learn pretty much, like in my case, how to be, let's just say, Haitian without being Haitian. For you, how to be American without being American. What that means is, yes, I was born here, so therefore I learned the culture, but yet I'm not confined as a person. You know, that's why, I mean, the good thing I think, you know, for me personally, I love about America, you know, shit, nigga, I could go out right now, have some Chinese food. I could go out right now, have some Korean food, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? That variety, it's like, man, it's, you know, you're not being put in a box. I don't have to eat mashed potatoes or baked potatoes every fucking day, nigga. Or cornbread, you know what I'm saying? Or griot for that part. You know what I'm saying? That you get to explore so many different things. But not just that. And then when you're learning about culture too, it's the same food that's being cooked in different ways. That's all that shit is. You know, the Puerto Rican call fucking chicharron, they cook it a certain way. Us Haitian niggas, we have griot, we cook it a certain way. That's all that shit is. Same meat, same everything, different perspective. That's all that shit is. So for you now to have that highest level of clarity, you got to go beyond all of that shit. Meaning you have to see it from all of those different angles. Not from a one-sided perspective. If you're in a box, you're going to have a box perspective. That's all it is. And you'll never be able to attain your highest level of consciousness because you are being put in a box. You have a one-sided view. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, and I'm going to say this for educational purposes. You know, like some people would say Democrat and Republican are idiots. And that's correct. The reason why they are idiots, not because they can't think, but it's because they have a one-sided perspective. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, when you work, like, in your business, right? Like, okay, not just your business. If you work for corporate's not going to have a one-sided perspective. You have your idea. Let me use this idea. You put everything together to get the best fucking idea or the best way of seeing things. So that's what make these motherfuckers idiots, because you only analyzing things from one perspective. I mean, you can't tell me the Republican have nothing good, bro. And if they have some good shit, why would you not take it? Unless if you're being one-sided. Do you see what I'm saying? So therefore, you're missing out on having a holistic perspective because you have a one-sided perspective. You know, the whole idea of even Jesus having long hair or even the dread, you know, it's all the same thing. It is, as me being a man, I'm embracing my feminine side. You know, as logical as I can be as a man, I have also embraced my intuition side. So now, you know, and that's what we call pretty much in the occult becoming the perfect man or the perfect woman. Is to embrace both of those sides of you, and now it gives you a highest level of clarity. And that's what being Christ-like is. That's what becoming Krishna-like is. But anyway, so as part of my, you know, process, if you're coming back, welcome. I always like to salute you guys, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I always like to take a minute to talk about spirituality shortly, only because, you know, just so you know too, like where I'm getting my shit from, or the idea of, you know, like it's for you to understand where I'm speaking from. You know, it's not a Bible perspective. I'm not gonna give you a book reference. I may use it to make a point, but I'm not depending on that. You know, whereas a nigga that would tell you I'm a Christian, you know, then they will tell you, you know what I'm saying, show it to me in the Bible. What verse, what chapter, what book, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to make it so you understand, you know what I'm saying, like at this point, you know what I'm saying, if you truly go by only the Bible, maybe this is not for you. But if you so far understood everything that I just said and how it could apply into your life, hey, welcome, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not trying to waste your time. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to also say, too, it's another way for me to be transparent with you. So you understand, you know, where I got my shit from. You understand the authority. Oh, man. Let me stop. And, you know, by which that I'm speaking of. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. So anyway, I always like to take a minute to talk about spirituality shortly, right? So spirituality, guys, pretty much, it's your life. Making a long story short, let's cut the chase, cut the bullshit. It's just your life. It's a deeper understanding of your life. Meaning, it's the understanding of who you are that goes beyond just what you look like. And today, what I'm going to be talking about here is a deeper look at the Matrix. Matrix, have you guys seen the movie? In other words, the world that you're living in. That's what we're talking about here. But anyway, getting a little bit ahead of myself, going back to spirituality, it's simply you. It's having a deeper understanding of you. Now, on the flip side of that, you have something called the occult, or those sacred texts, what you call, those sacred, whatever the fuck these things are. I mean, not what they are, but, when you heard, let's just say, I don't know, like, even the Bible, okay, when you talk about the Gnostics, or you talk about Buddhism, any of those sacred texts, or what is called esoteric knowledge. Those knowledge are pretty much catered, it's the knowledge that help you to understand that hidden side of you. First of all, that's why it's called the occult. So if you ever read anything about the occult, some of the basic or some of the basic shit they will teach you is that you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. Now, the idea of them telling you about your subconscious mind, which is under the mind, it's a mind that you're not aware of, but that is pretty much conscious. For lack of better terms, just so you get what I'm saying, for me, that's my conscious mind. But for what we're talking about here, let's just take it step by step here. You know what I'm saying? What you looking for? All right, go get him. Hey, they're coming for you. Yes, you who's watching me right now, they're coming for you. Don't worry about it. They're coming for you. It's just a matter of time. That was what that was. Oh, it's coming sooner than you think. Man, listen. Anyway. I'm wilding. I've been in this energy for the past fucking whole week, man. But anyway, oh man. Yeah, motherfucker, that's for you. Anyway, I mean, you know who you are. You know who you are. But anyway, so now you're dealing with esoteric knowledge, the knowledge that goes beyond the surface. The knowledge now, a good way of looking at this is in the darkness, out of the darkness comes the light. Meaning, when we're talking about subconscious mind, something that you don't see, now they're taking you into the thing that you don't see, and then to bring the light, making it visible. And that's the idea of the occult. It's touching on the aspect of you that is not physical, that is not visible. Just like when we talk about meditation, now you start, developing your third eye. And then this is telling you when you do that, you become more receptive to nature, to understanding and all that shit. That's all the fuck that shit is. So the occult and spirituality work hand in hand, revealing you. That's all that shit is, bro. Yo. That's all that shit is. That's all that shit is. So now, with all of that being said, let's delve into what we came here to talk about. So, I wanted you guys to take a deeper look at your reality, so-called reality, or what is called the matrix, right? So first of all, we have to understand us, right? When you look at a kid, and I want you to keep that in mind because, I didn't even talk about mythology. But anyway, I'm gonna live it between the lines. I mean, you'll pick up what needs to be picked up. I mean, if you got the sight, you'll pick it up. If not, it is what it is. But anyway, you're still gonna get the point of. I mean, I'm still going to make the point of what I'm saying here, right? So, when we, as a kid, a lot of us, and you can see your kids, what they're doing is they touching everything. Then you tell them this is bad, and then you tell them this is good. And then us as adult, now we understand what we're saying by this is bad. For instance, if we got our hands burning in a fire, then we're not going to put our hands in it again because we got burnt. Then we're going to do the things that are pleasurable, the things that are so-called good. So then you understand from that perspective, you were raised in a world of duality. What is called good and evil, and also, isn't it the fruit of, that's the fruit, the tree of good and evil? A tree representing by knowledge, understanding. So now the world that you're living in, your what you call so-called society or your reality is created out of that knowledge. It's created as what we call good and bad. That's why you have competition. You don't do this, you do that. You have that dualistic perspective on things. So if you understand mythology, and if you can relate that to, let's just say, your creation myth, then you would have a good understanding of what I'm saying. If not, you know what? It's all good. You ain't doing anything wrong, nigga. I'm still good. I'm sipping on my shit. You watching this, or maybe you're not, whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. Now does it? But anyway, so we're living in a world, what is called the matrix, that is based on external experiences. And that's what society has created. And because of that, now you're pretty much being trained to have a certain image pertaining to the external. That's why pretty much when, in so many words, when you build your understanding of your life on this society, it's almost like having a house built on sin. I mean sand, right? Like pretty much like, it's not a solid foundation. It's not a solid foundation only because now, if I'm using the same example that, let's just say we're talking about fire, right? Yes, if you put your hands in the fire, you may get burned. But if it's cold, you may need this fire. In fact, that's what we do. That's what we do, like the same electricity that could kill you, that electricity could kill you. That's why you don't want to touch it. In a certain way, you want to use precaution, but yet it keeps your house warm. I'm saying that to say, man, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but it's also necessary for me to say this because I'm trying to get you to see the contrast between having a dualistic perspective and a polarity perspective. And I'm going to get into that shortly, but having that polarity perspective too, that's what it means to become godlike. That's what it means to become the Christ. That's what it means to become born again. In so many words. I mean, not specifically that, but as you're being born again, you will embrace all of these things. Because now you're no longer looking at the world just like pain. Why do you go to the gym? And pushing those heavy weights and you being tired, yet let's go. So this is just showing you that this world here, what you call pain, you need pain for you to grow. And the same principle that applies, let's just say, into your physical life as you're working in your gym, is the same thing that takes place in life. That's why people will tell you don't want to be comfortable. Because comfortability fuck your mind up. You're not growing. That's why we have death. Death means it's a transition. It's not a hard stop. As a kid, when you become a fucking adolescent, you died from that kid perspective because you're no longer that kid. And then when you become a young adult, guess what? You have to die to that fucking adolescent that you were. So those are transitional period. That's why you need death in your life. That's why death and life goes hand in hand. And that's what now in the occult or in spirituality, for you to attain your highest level of consciousness, then now we will tell you, you have to embrace polarity. In other words, eating from the tree of life. And that also helps you now to have a deeper understanding that it's not just good or bad, but you also understand something that is good can also be bad. And something that is bad can also be good. When you start seeing things from this perspective, now, you know what I'm saying, obviously, that's how you're going to attain your highest level of consciousness. Get it? I mean, it's that simple. Not easy, but it's that simple. But now, since, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but at the same time, I felt like it's necessary for me to kind of bring it side to side so you kind of get to see where I'm going to. But at the same time, but going back to the world that you're living in, that's why now you're living in a world that's teaching you that you learn everything you learn about you. It's only about the physical aspect of you. And that's what makes this world a fucking illusion. And when you build on the fucking illusion, you're gonna sink at any given time. Let me put that in perspective for you. You see a bitch like us men, right? A beautiful bitch, nice ass. Let's just say a big ass. Let's talk about those asses. Since you motherfuckers love those asses, the curve, the ass, the thick, like the small, the slim waist, and all that shit. That doesn't mean she's a good person. I understand we're attracted to that. But that alone cannot raise your kid, bro. In Haiti, we have this. Yo, Haitian niggas are all the wildest motherfuckers, man. This nigga yo, we said this nigga, right? From Gobunda pa jam jouen mariage. What that means is You know? like like the bitches with the most fat asses, they're the ones who never got married. You know why? Because everybody want to fuck them. You know what I'm saying? But not necessarily just for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen, man, I'm not being, you know what I'm saying? I'm not putting myself in a box here. Like, of course you're going to have, but again, if you find somebody got a fat ass and then you have to get to know who they are, that is the purpose. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. So, the Indian, okay, I got a little bit ahead of myself. The Indian called this world Maya. Maya simply means illusion. When we talk about illusion, illusion does not mean it does not exist. Or illusion does not mean it's fake. There's two things. Right? When you go to a magic, let's just say the magic show, then you see they cut that person in half. You see it. You see it. But that is not true. There's more to what you see. That's what it means by being a fucking illusion. For instance, when you meet someone, hello, my name is such and such, whatever the fuck, what you see, there's more to that physical aspect of that person to who that person is. Now, granted, your representation means certain things. Me having my dreads like this, I'm embracing my femininity, I'm a divine feminine. All that shit, you may be able to read that too. Beautiful. But understand this. Even the reason why you're even able to read that is because deeply inside you are acknowledging there's more to me than what I look like. So therefore, what I appear to be like, now you could say, this is who you are. But not just based on what you see. Yes, it is based on what you see, but having a deeper understanding of what you're seeing. Then now you could describe my character or my traits, whatever the fuck. Does that make any sense? So, I mean, shit, I don't know how to dumb it down. I mean, yeah, well, let's dumb it all the way the fuck down, right? In other words, you know what I'm saying? A fat ass bitch doesn't mean she's a good bitch. A fat ass bitch doesn't mean she has the ability to raise your kids. Now, raising your kids have to do now with her knowing who she is, having the work done on her, and elevating herself, whatever the fuck. But the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is, when we talk about this world, the world that you're living in, what makes it an illusion is because there is more to what it appears to be. So in other words, you always, when you see something, you automatically got to bypass what you see. All right, so what's underneath that? What's beyond the veil? Because what's beyond the veil is truly what the shit is. And that's why the Indian called this world Maya. That's what makes it a world of fucking illusion. When they tell you not to judge a book by its cover, this is a reflection of all of us. That's why for me, like I always tell niggas, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about me. You see me pulling up with an ugly bitch, nigga, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Go get your beautiful, your hot bitch. You know what I'm saying? But for me, my peace of mind, me seeing the person beyond who they are, and that also entails money. That entails what they look, everything. Because my house is built on a solid foundation. Damn, let me stop. Stop. Hey, man, shit. It is what it is. But anyway. So, We're living in a society, that's why now, because it's a one-sided society. It's built on just your physical appearance, not on who you are in the inside. As a result, then there is an image that you gotta be, that you, most of us are becoming. So you see, that's what you see in your life. And that's why most people would they're having a hard time trying to figure out, what is it that I want? What is it, my destiny? What should I do? Well, that's because this is not a coincidence. You were trained and conditioned to live your life based on who you should be. So everything now is based on your fucking external. I mean, can you see why people are fake? You know? I mean, it's not a coincidence. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. It's not a fucking coincidence. You know, you living around fake ass motherfuckers because, you know, you dress a certain way, you appear a certain, you went to that school, you know, yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. And this is why now when Jesus comes out and tells you, you're going to have to be born again. Meaning now you're going to have to turn the other cheek. You're going to have to start looking at life for you to become, you'd be part of the kingdom of God, which is from looking at things from a spiritual perspective. You can no longer looking at people only from a physical perspective. Who are you as a person? That's why even if you're ugly, you're still going to be my friend. Well, physically speaking, because now my definition of beauty, it's based on spirituality now. That's why I'm good looking. And of course, in my case, well, I mean, shit, it is what it is. Ain't no shame in myself. I know myself, nigga, physically and spiritually. But where I stand on, it's my spirituality. So I found my beauty. Shit. This is as beautiful I can get, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is what you see. And trust me, and I've seen that before. Like when you find your beauty, regardless of what you look like externally, is going to overpower that. Trust me. Trust me, it's going to. Oh man. Listen. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. Like I said. You see me with an ugly bitch. Yeah, nigga, I'm happy as fuck. You know, this is what it means to live in a fucking illusion world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the car doesn't make you, bro. But because now you live in a society that is constructed that way, that is shaping you to think from an external perspective, you don't know who you are in the inside. Your self-worth or your self-esteem now has been replaced by your self-worth. So for you to feel good about you, this is the car you need to drive. This is the money you need to spend. This is what you see when you go to the club, motherfuckers popping bottles. This is not a coincidence. This is just the reality of the choices of the society that you're being raised in. No wonder why a lot of you now, you have to keep up with the Joneses. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to keep up with the Joneses. Because your self of worth, yourself, you know, yourself, how can I say this? Your identification now is based on what you look like, not on who you are. So it's not a coincidence that a lot of people, they can't figure out what is it the fuck that they want. Because you were never trained to be you. You were trained, like just based on what you were saying, and it all comes together too. This is the image that you need to become, you need to be. And that's the life that you're living. That's what you call in the matrix. Now people now who go to school, because, going to school is supposed to make you better. It's totally normal to me. I mean, I definitely get it why you would feel a certain way if you actually went to college, or if you did whatever the fuck you did, for you to feel a certain way, like going to college or even going to certain things, like you feel like you got two dicks. I got it. And if you're a bitch, you got multiple pussies. Because it's not self-esteem or how you feel inside, but it's your self-worth. It's your degree that says who you are now. And ironically, this is how you are worshiping idols. You're an idol worshiper. Even though, check out my other video, and I talked about that because I wanted to, really break it down, because a lot of people don't understand. Like sometimes when I use shit like this, or even that, they say, that's what idol is. No, motherfucker. You're the one worshiping idols. You're using the name of God to get a car. Now, what you call the idol, I use that to elevate myself to be closer to God. Just like, when I talk about the cross symbolizes victory. Or the Christ, whatever the fuck. It speaks to you automatically. You get it. And if you go, let's just say, if you were to go through the same shit Jesus was going through, and I held that cross, that's giving you power, my brother. He went through it. You could do it too. And besides, this is the whole mythology shit. But anyway, I already talk about this shit. But let's talk about what I'm talking about now. I mean, it's all connected too, so it is what it is. Is that? Oh, okay. I thought that was one of my dogs. Nah, it's not that nigga. But anyway, what's up, bro? Do you see what I'm saying? The idea of worshiping, when they have that, let's just say those gold fucking pig, and people were worshiping, that's what you're doing when, your life, it's for you to go to college. Your life, that's what, so the very things that determines your life, that's what you're doing. That's what you're praising. It's not the act of holding on or having, I don't know if I have it in my pocket. I normally do. Hold up, man. That's my shit. Oh, shit. I didn't. Oh, okay, it's in the car. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Because, there's a couple people that I walk with. You feel me? That has nothing to do. I'm not worshiping the fucking clay, stupid motherfucker. It's a representation of something that helps me to tap into a higher side of me. For instance, in that video, I was talking about the Sphinx. When you see the Sphinx itself is talking to you. Should elevate you when you look at that statue. When you're looking at a statue that shows you half of animal, and then the other half, the upper side of you, your mind, which is a human being, this is showing you the domination you have over your domestic or that animal part of you, your body. Contrary to what you're thinking. It helps you to elevate. You connect. This is not worshiping idols, stupid motherfuckers. But now, if you're using the Bible, everything you talked about is for somebody not to get sick. It's for like all physical shit. Your victory entails you getting a job. I'm not saying that you don't need a job, but that's all these motherfuckers are talking about. Who's worshiping idols? It's the end result that matters, not the act in itself. But anyway, going back now to the whole, like for you to have a deeper understanding, this is why people are keeping up with the Joneses. Now, you're living in a society, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, gangster is being praised. I mean, I don't know if you see the shit with, then now everybody wants to be a fucking gangster. You want to flash. To be what? You're looking for that identity to be validated by others. This is not a coincidence. You're being conditioned to be that way. So, I'm trying to get you to make the connection. It's all external based. That's pretty much what it came down to. And this is what it means to build a house on sand, not a solid foundation. Because now this is what it means to be part of this society. That's what makes it bullshit. And this is now why you'll see now people who are being closer to God now, we are following ourselves. And when you do, there's a chain of events that comes with that. When you live in your life based on who you should be, then there's a chain of event that comes with that. Now you learn how to be a better faker. Then now you understand, okay, let me look like this, because what should be your self-esteem is your self-worth. Meaning the clothes that you're wearing, the car that you got, the money that you have in your bank. Then now, out of that now, you have motherfuckers, of course, they don't know how to be themselves. Then now you have what's called your haters. Oh, it comes with the territory. That's what we were talking about when I was talking about those chain of events. It's a whole world. This is, in other words, in the occult, this is what we call, this world is based out of ignorance. Now, it doesn't mean stupidity. It doesn't mean a lack of intellect. What it means is the ignorance now, because you have not attained, you have not acknowledged that other side of you. And that's what is called, the road most traveled. This is the path that everybody takes, because it kind of comes with the territory. You don't have that higher knowledge. You haven't developed yourself. This is why when you're being born again, it's a different ball game. Now you're looking at things from a different perspective. Now you're looking at good and bad. Like you need some bad shit in your life. Just like when you go to the gym, like no pain, no gain. Yeah, motherfucker. It's exactly right. Then now you have motherfuckers telling you discipline. Again, all of these things, to go through your pain, to accept some of the things that, like otherwise you wouldn't accept if you're looking at it from a dualistic perspective, meaning good or bad. But when you look at it from a polarity perspective, it means that what you call that bad thing it can also be good. So therefore, you understand that good and bad is the same. It's part of the same coin. It's different side of the coins of the coin. That's what you understand now. And then now, when you understand it that way, there's a chain of event that comes with that. Then now you're not afraid of making mistakes because what? How do you learn? Now you have a different perspective. Now when people, that's why I tell people, when a lot of people are saying this world is not perfect, I understand what you mean. Are you saying flawless? They mean flawless. Yes, you got to make mistakes. But this world is perfect because your mistakes is what gets you to learn more. So when we talk about, that's why in the occult, when we talk about perfection, and when even Jesus told you to be perfect as God in the heaven is perfect, because what you call this nature, I'm out in nature now. A lot of you motherfuckers are talking about organic food and all that shit. Beautiful. Well, guess what? There's poison that is also organic for your ass. This nature, that good ass prana that you're breathing, there's a part of it that also can kill you too. That's what it means. So when you start looking at it from that perspective, the perfection simply means the good and bad coming together. That's why even when I talk about the spirituality, it's a ma'at. It's based on ma'at. Mind, body, and soul, however the fuck you want to look at it, but the perfect balance. And for you to attain your highest level of consciousness, having your heart as light as a feather, that's what we're talking about in Judgment Day. You would never be able to reach your highest level of consciousness because you have to do it in this world. As it is above, so it is below. As it is within, so it is without. As you progress into this life, guess what? That's why a lot of us who have, so lack of better terms, seen God, we've seen God in this flesh. Meaning, as a human being, as I am in this human form, it doesn't limit me. I have mastered the men within. That's how I stand in front of God. God damn it. Man, listen, man. Get your blessing, motherfuckers. Do you see what I'm saying? And not just that. In life, you can only go as far as you go. You know, when you have guys like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you have like Napoleon Hill that's telling you think and grow rich. A lot of these ideas, what they're really telling you is to give you a different set of thinking. You know, I love the Rich Dad, Poor Dad because this motherfucker, Robert Kiyosaki, he got the assignment. He understood it. He gave it to you in a story form. And this is what our ancestors did because we understand how mythology is your greatest, form of mind control. So by him telling you the story of a rich dad or poor dad, it helps you to relate to it. This is how you learn the most. That's how you awaken. That's why the wise one, we understand. That's why you'll see, especially in Buddhism too, there's a lot of short tale. And in voodoo, we also do that too. Because also it represents the power of words. Because those tales, those stories, listen, they give you, there's a lot of things that's being said to you that let's just say, even if I wanted to explain it to you let's just say, intellectually, or try to break it down to you. I mean, the power of words, like there's certain things that's being revealed to you. Again, how you work, your essence, the mystery, the true mystery is you. Who do you know who have made it successfully who have not been who they are? Now, granted, I gotta say this. What's that nigga name, man? The fuck? Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was asked, man, how did you become successful? He said, man, through the grace of God. Let me tell you, he was right. But let me break it down for you, though. I know I understood what he said. Now, what he didn't tell you is, this nigga, he was acting like this bitch, Medea. He was going to all of those different motherfucking stadiums, selling out shows. He was doing his thing. He was sucking his own dick. By the grace of God, what he's telling you is, he followed his intuition. He followed, his dream. He followed, and then not knowing where this is going to end up. This motherfucker told you, like, in one of his show, like, the one show that I went, like, I was dating this bitch, you know what I'm saying? She took me out to that shit, right? And then this nigga was saying, I'm going to have Medea 4, Medea 5, until he does this nigga's been sucking his own dick. And then there he is now, telling you by the grace of God. Now, if you were to ask me the same question, I would answer it the same way. But don't get it fucked up. What he's saying is, it's not, let's just say, oh God, let me pray. No. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was praying too. But the action that he was taking, how he was led to do the things that he was doing, that is the grace of God. Like, I'm standing before you through the grace of God. Don't get it fucked up, nigga. Shit, nigga. Especially, I know what God means in my life. Because without God, and I was having this conversation with this sister, man. Right? So we talked, and then, like, I'm like, whoa. Like, she said, I don't even talk to people who do not have any type of belief at all. I'm like, shit. She got it. I knew what she was talking about. Let me say that again. She said she doesn't talk to people who doesn't believe in nothing at all. Because when you believe in something, it's that belief into that something that makes you who you are. That's why you need God in your life. That's why it doesn't matter who the fuck you believe in, motherfucker. That belief in itself will take you beyond the physical aspect of you. When you follow your purpose, when you follow who you are, it takes you beyond, that box. This is why, man, listen, man. Y'all niggas, that's why it doesn't matter. Buddha, Krishna, whoever the fuck. That's why the people who truly understand that, like I always tell you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask a voodoo motherfucker, like, do you believe in Jesus? He'll tell you Jesus was a prophet. I don't believe in Jesus per se as a, but he was a prophet. But if you're a Christian, I'll ask you, do you know what I'm saying? Do you know who Ogu is? They're like, oh, no, it's only one God. I'm saying, you stupid motherfucker. So you don't understand the fact that mans need God and God needs men. Then again, this is why I was saying I wanted to give you, you know what I'm saying, like the baseline understanding of my understanding and where I'm coming from, because I'm talking about spirituality, which is you. Like in spirituality, we say you behave like your God. For instance, the Bible tell you what? To spread the word, not to listen to you know what I'm saying, it's only one God. If you're a Christian, what do? You behave like your God. And because Buddhism and any other religion, they don't say, like, you know what I'm saying, there's only one God or your God is the real God. That's why it was clever. That's why your God damn, man. This shit is so simple. This is, man, but then you got to wake up to it too. This is why your colonizers used Christianity. That's why they use the shit that you know, that, you know, they learned that shit from us. They got the blueprint to fuck you up. They fucking you up with your own shit. Then now, that's why the Catholic religion, you know, if you understand that, the Catholics, you know, that's why they had statues too, because they understood what we were doing in fucking Egypt. Then now, the so-called more advanced Christian, which is the dumbasses ones, then now they, you know, that's what you have when niggas are saying now you shouldn't be worshiping idols and all that shit. Why do you need that in your church? Meanwhile, outside of their church, they have a cross. Pentecostist, whatever, the Baptist, whatever the fuck, they have that cross. Isn't that a fucking image? They're all bullshitting. In other words, I'm saying this to say, there's no way you can talk about God without no art in it, without depicting it somehow, some way. That was for the great listeners. If you're a great listener, then you understand what I just said. But then again, it's a reflection of you. And that's why it doesn't matter too, like I tell people too, and it goes vice versa too. You know, I find motherfuckers that are saying, you know what I'm saying, I'm a fucking atheist and shit, I don't believe in the Bible. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The creation mythology is your experience. That's what you're going through. The country, the culture is based on that. Adam and Eve, right? When they found out they were naked, you know, they eat from the tree of good and evil, and then they hide their private parts. Right? That's what you would say. Their dick or pussy, motherfucker. But okay, all right. They're private parts. Oh, I sound better now. Do you see what you're doing? Like the same exact shit that they did. That's what you're doing. You're doing verbally now. And then now, you know, you wouldn't tell your kids, "Oh, this is a dick." Oh no, this, you know, it's not the proper term. It's so vulgar. And then you're talking about the same shit. You do the math on that one. Anyway, who gives a fuck anyway? You know that? But the bottom line of what I'm saying here, man, listen. This shit is so clear once you see it. That's why you need to wake up to it. But anyway, this is your matrix for you. Now, you have people keeping up with the Joneses. You know, they don't know who they are. It's self-worth. Then because now we have to act a certain way and do all that shit, you know, everybody wants to be a star. because that's how you get to be acknowledged. Isn't that the reason why even yourself you praising stars? You guys motherfucking worshiping idols. You know what I'm saying? And but yet you claim to be a man of God. The fuck? It's not a coincidence why you're not applying God wisdom in your life. Because it requires you to embrace that for you to do it. That's why church, man, going to church is it's like, going to a networking event. When you go to church, nigga, you go to a networking event, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Those fake ass motherfuckers, man. Trust me. Like, man, I live in Atlanta. I was invited to, oh man. Let me be quiet. Quiet. You know what I'm saying? There's some nigga called CEO, because I didn't know this motherfucker before. And then I'm listening to what these motherfuckers are talking. I'm like, what? Man, listen. I'm just enjoying nature right now. I'm enjoying nature. I mean, this is why, too, I always tell people, you have to know the science of ignorance. The whole Machiavelli shit, this is what a lot of people don't understand. When I first read Machiavelli, I was 21 or 22. Oh, man. And I was also on the verge of my spirituality, too. So, therefore, I didn't fully grasp it at that time. Like, I know, like, for me at that time, it was low vibrational, which it is. It ain't like I was wrong, but I didn't fully understand what was being said. Yes, it is low vibrational, but guess what? Living in the world and not being of this world, who the fuck do you think you're going to deal with? In fact, man, this motherfucker was showing you the true nature of motherfuckers. When the nigga's telling you it's better to be feared, like, nah, he's right. He's not referring to anybody who has light in them. When the motherfucker, like the 48 powers of law that says, like, for me, if I'm a teacher, I want my children or my student to know more than me. Or, I mean, even Jesus tells you, you could do more, more than what I did. This is what you need to understand, and this is what I didn't understand. That was speaking from a spiritual perspective. You can't ignore the physical, because at the end of the day, being a fucking accountant, I deal with stupid motherfuckers. I deal with motherfuckers who's sucking dicks, you know what I'm saying, like, for a paycheck. So you have to understand that. Because when you don't understand that, now you become in the box. Oh, you don't want to deal with people. You see how people always talk about, now granted, I don't fuck with the bullshit. Now, trust and believe. But I know how to deal with the bullshit. You have to learn how to deal with the bullshit by having the proper understanding of how what the bullshit is and how it works. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to have a higher perspective. If not, then you're gonna be like, okay, being all spiritual and shit, and then, nah, motherfucker, you dealing with stupid motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn not to cast your pearls before swine. And on that same note, let me say this too. This is the reason why, too, a lot of our ancestors, we had, let's just say, you had to be initiated. We didn't teach anybody about magic. That's why, for me, I haven't talked. I'm never going to talk about magic. Not because I don't, nigga, you crazy. I'm magical myself, nigga. You must be crazy. That's what comes with the spirit. Your essence is magic. It's magical. That's why in the voodoo we call yourself what? The mystère. It means mystery. You are the mystery. You know what I'm saying? But who you gonna teach that to? Power without wisdom is destruction. Nigga, I grew up in Haiti. You can't tell me nothing. You know, like, you see a lot of stupid motherfuckers, they keep throwing magic at each other. And that's pretty much energy weapon. They throw an energy weapon at fucking each other. Because they don't have the self-knowledge. So that's another problem too. Now, when you approaching for spirituality from this bullshit perspective, that's what you're going to be doing. And that's what people, when people are talking about voodoo, now you have motherfuckers who don't know who they are, who are not truly spiritual, who are using energy weapon. They're using it like against other people. In other words, you know, instead of using a gun, now they're just using magic. That's all it is. And then now, when you're learning about the occult, and then you're saying, oh, that's what the occult is. No, stupid motherfucker. Far from that. Far from it. Far, 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 far from it. In fact, if anything, that should teach you that there is more to you than what you look like. Meaning, you don't have to pick up a gun to kill somebody. You could do certain rituals or certain, you know, whatever the fuck, and get that done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because, you know, there was a little group who didn't know who I was. They didn't know what type of work I've been putting in. You know what I'm saying? You know. But these motherfuckers are stupid motherfuckers using magic. So that's why our ancestors, we had initiation. Not everybody was welcome to do it. There's a self-work you have to do with that. It's the same thing applies. Let's just say a fucking officer or policeman, whatever the fuck, the more, you know, control or balance they are internally, you know, then you understand that using your gun is the last result, man. Not that you don't know how to use it, then now you could use your wit too. You know, like when you teach these motherfuckers who don't have any wisdom about magic, and this is where, you know, this age, unfortunately, you know, a lot of people are taking themselves out. Like these motherfuckers who try to use magic against me, I mean, shit, like I tell them, like, man, listen. Listen. Everything that's happening to them is everything they sent to me. That's why I tell them send more. Because now you fucking with a true magician. You getting shit from Google, you know what I'm saying, but you don't have the self-wisdom. And now you coming at me. I mean, I'm going to use you as my footstool. Now you are my credentials. You know, those who know would know. Now, through you now, they would know who I am. And I didn't have to lift a finger. Why? You don't give gun to fucking 2, 3, 5 years old kids, man. What do you think they're going to do with that? Oh, I'm mad. Mom, I wanted this. Let me get the gun. Because they don't know how to manage themselves. That's why power without wisdom is destruction on every level. On every level. From energetic level, physical level, spiritual level, whatever the fuck level. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is what you see in so many words, because these people that don't have the knowledge. This is why, initiations are needed. It wasn't done because we wanted to, let's just say, there was something so powerful. So no, this is your essence. But we know not to cast our pearls before swine, because not everybody's on the same level. Here's something else, like motherfuckers who were doing like spell work on trying to get you to love them. You don't do that. I mean, shit. You could do it on stupid motherfuckers. Well, go ahead and do that shit on me. Make me love you. You know, man? You're gonna be fucking your ass all your fucking work. You're gonna keep doing that all day, every day. And you're gonna keep doing that. Make me love you. The fuck? And what's gonna happen now? You're gonna become a man. Let me be quiet. Listen, I'ma call you. I can't live without you. I'm in love. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here, man. That's why there's a proper training that has to take place. You got to know who you are. Because once you know who you are, there's certain things you wouldn't even fucking do. Why would I put magic on a bitch to love me? Why would I want that if you don't already love me? To do what? To do what, nigga? Like, it's almost like forcing somebody to love me. No, bitch. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, I go where I'm celebrated, nigga. I don't need no magic for that shit. I put magic on me for me to love me more. That's the magic that I do on me. And guess what? The more I love myself, other people who's talking about whatever the magic is, trying to get me to, it's never gonna work. Because I suck my own fucking dick, nigga. Keep going, do it again. Do it again. Don't worry, keep doing it. Keep doing it. I'm gonna call you shortly. In fact, I'm in love. Fucking you up. Trust me. And dude, I'm gonna show it to you. Mm-hmm. I'm in love. I'm in love. So wait a minute. You think I need to see you again and then it's gonna change my mind? Like when I saw you, that didn't change my mind when I saw you. Then seeing you again is gonna change. Yeah. Yes. I need to see you again so I could change my mind. Doing. They're just taking themselves out. I didn't even have to lift a finger. Not a finger at all. I mean, that's the worst. Like that's like, was that even a fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have stupid motherfuckers who create a game and then they lost in the game that they created. How do you lose a game that you created? How do you lose your own game? How would I lose my shit, Nick? That's like me losing to my own game right now. Really? You think so? Well, I guess. Hey, We'll see. Do you see what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm saying that to say, I'm saying so much too. I'm saying so much right now. But anyway, you know, this is why too, you have to understand. That's why, like in voodoo, there's a difference between voodoo and Wanga. You have a lot of these stupid motherfuckers, like for instance, the people that I was raised with are low IQ, stupid motherfuckers, but they know magic though, and their magic is good. I mean, it doesn't take knowledge for you to do magic. You just got to know the recipe. But now here's the. Tell him to keep coming. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. That's why I don't talk about magic. Not because I don't know anything about it. And just like going back to what I was saying, that's why you need to learn. Get the Machiavelli books. Get the 48th Power of Law. Don't be stuck on it. The idea of you to learn about it, you have to understand, since you live in this matrix, who you're dealing with. I mean, of course, the 48th power is not true power. That I would definitely say. But the idea of the power thing that they're saying is, how do you survive? Some of the key things that would allow you to make certain moves. But the true power comes with you. When they tell you not to outshine the master, then you have Jesus telling you now you could do more than I did. Those are two different states of mind. Not to outshine the master because you're dealing with motherfucker's ego. I mean, for lack of better terms, because your ego is not the issue, but you're truly dealing with stupid motherfucker. So never outshine your master. And you also got to keep in mind, the 48th Law of Power, it's not a spiritual book. I mean, it is too. Oh, man. It is a spiritual book. Oh, my God. Definitely a spiritual book. But not a spiritual book in a sense, because when we talk about spirituality, it's everything that's revealing who you are. But that is the part the 40th Power of Law of Machiavelli is revealing you the part of us without the part of us that is not being born again. For instance, I'll give you a perfect example. If you show me kindness, I will never take advantage of it. In fact, a fisherman recognizes another one from afar. That's what being respectful is. But that's because I am of the spirit. But someone who is not of the spirit, when you show them kindness, do you know what they're going to do? They're going to suck the life out of you. They're going to look at you as being stupid. They're going to take advantage of you because that's what they know. They don't have that life in them for them to see it beyond that. So that's why I always tell you guys, you have to understand the science of ignorance. Not for you to be put in that box. Not for you to become stupid like them. But for you now, this is where I could see the term power comes into place. I'm breaking it down for you so you understand what he means by power now. It helps you to elevate beyond their bullshit, their limitations. Do you understand? But now this is why I would call these motherfuckers, and just like Jesus would call them, these niggas are thieves. Meaning, yeah, they're giving you some knowledge, but they're not giving you the true knowledge, which is self. I mean, the 40th power of law is allowing you to understand the environment that you're living in. And if you understand what I just talked about, you know, living in this world, you know what I'm saying, like a world of external, for lack of better terms, a world of ignorance, a world of what do you have, what do you possess, what you don't have, what do you look like. I mean, it's based on external shit. Meanwhile, there's more to you than what you look like. And that goes for everybody. And this is why now you have motherfuckers that are telling you, man, I deal with the real ones, I don't deal with fake ones. But all of that is spiritual. All of that is spiritual. I'm just trying to get you to get to the essence of you, where you could bypass all that shit and truly transcend and truly becoming Christ-like. Nigga. Do you get it? So I wouldn't take any credits from Robert Greene or Machiavelli. Now you need that. In fact, Machiavelli's teaching you, I'll give you a perfect example. Listen, man, you think being kindness, you can't be kindness to just anybody. If you are, that's casting your pearls before swine. Because some people are taking advantage of that. So you got to learn how to treat people for who they are. Not you projecting yourself on other people. Meanwhile, while you're still treating yourself and others how you would want to be treated at the same time. I hope I'm not confusing you. I mean, because I would expect you would want to be treated based on who you are. So treat another motherfucker as they are. You see, it's not taking away from nothing here. It's just having a deeper understanding. So now, then, that's why our ancestors, and again, oh man, the misunderstanding of people thinking that in this new age that we're living in, we are smarter than what the so-called the primitive people. Come on, man. That's blasphemy, man. That's blasphemy. Nigga, I was illegally adopted, kidnapped, whatever the fuck. It's all the same. So I'm saying that to say, I don't know what my real age is, but based on what they gave me, I'm 43, right? 43, I'm not even 50 years old, right? I grew up in Haiti. And I'm saying this to you for a purpose, right? For a reason. When I was in my fucking, 11th or adolescent ages, you know what I'm saying? Before I moved to the States, man, because we didn't have certain things, like, let's just say, we didn't, calculator was around, but we were still, what's the word that I'm looking for here? You were still led to use your brain. My ability at that time, I had the ability of remembering motherfucking, like, let's just say 10 to 15 different telephone numbers. Today, 2025, I'm struggling to remember my daughter's phone number. Now you tell me, I've developed in other areas, and of course, me saying I'm struggling now because I know what I know. I memorize the numbers and I do, other things. But I was also saying that for you, kind of look at yourself. And then now they're pushing AI on you. And then now your doctor, Chat GPT is going to learn from these things. So we're not even using us anymore. So how good are we? So now think about this. And then now you think you're smarter? You were smarter? You have no memory? Like a memory like capacity, man. Like, I used to know like the town tables. I still do. Because of how I grew up, whatever the fuck, 43, nigga, shit, brain born in the 80s. Again, what they gave me, but nevertheless, the experience was still that. You don't have that same capacity, man. Then will you have these niggas that was doing what they were doing back then? And then you think you're smarter than them? Because you got Bluetooth, nigga? Is that why you're smarter than them? Because of Bluetooth? Because you got more products? You got your earpiece? That's what makes you smarter than them? Man. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that, man. Man? Always remember, man. Listen. Always go within, so you never go without. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you think money's everything, then you do everything for money. This is telling, what's understood doesn't have to be explained. If you think money's everything, then you do everything for money. If you think money's not everything, then you're not going to do everything for money. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, the pain, the remedy of the pain is in the pain. Haitien. Bro. Mali.